And action. Okay, so I've had a few questions about how the events were selected and if some kids can have more events. And I've decided that I really like the way that I did it because we'll talk about the girls first. With the girls, each girl on the first 2 days has 6 splashes. There's actually 2 that only have 5. Some of you guys are asking for more individual events to make it worth your while to go to the meet, and I completely get that. A lot of you guys are looking down the road at trying to qualify for like Far Westerns or even JOs at that point. The problem is that with 13 events, and some are duplicate events where you can't swim the same event twice, you're not allowed to. That leaves us with only 52 splashes. Okay, with 13 girls, 52 divided by 13 is 4 splashes. Okay, that means each swimmer should have 4 individual events. So I think I came pretty close to that. When I was looking over it, when I'm looking at it right now, there's a couple kids that have 4 events, and there's a few girls that have 5 events and 1 relay. So everybody ended up with either 6 splashes or 5 splashes on those first 2 days. The way that I chose the events, and this will be addressing the boys' questions. Some of the parents had questions about how I selected the boys' events. So first, with the girls, I did it a little differently than the boys. So there's 2 ways that you can load a meet like this. With the girls, I chose their weakest events because we had a little less depth. So I didn't choose the girls' weakest events, I chose the team's weakest events. So the way I looked at it was if we could score 2 girls in one event and like 8 girls in another event, I decided to load the event where we could only score 2 girls first. With the boys, I did the opposite because it was a little bit easier for the boys to get second swims. With the girls, I've got 10 out of 13 look like they can come back and swim on Monday by making the championship round. For the boys, every single boy out of I think we got 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 7 boys. Okay, and all 7 of the boys can actually come back and swim. So what I did with the boys is I loaded the strongest event first from the bottom, and chose the events where I think that we could win because winning is more points. So for relays, the girls and the boys actually have a really horrible number for relays. There's 13 girls, which means that we can do 3 relays and 1 girl will sit out. Okay, for the boys, we can do 1 relay and 3 boys will sit out. So what I think I'll end up doing, the relays won't change. I like the way they are. But on the championship day, just to make sure that kids have a little bit more chance to swim, for the girls we'll probably have 8 girls swim on 2 relays. So that means 4 girls will swim on 1 relay and 4 girls will swim on a different relay, because we're only allowed to swim 1 relay on that championship day. It's not like the other 2 days where you're allowed unlimited relays. For the boys, I'll probably do something similar, which means for the girls, all the girls will have most likely 2 individuals and 1 relay on championship day, except there will be 2 girls that have 2 individual events and no relays. For the boys, so all the boys will be able to swim on 1 relay, and there'll be 1 boy that swims on 2 relays. So I'll probably figure that out. So yeah, that's how I did the breakdown. If you guys have more questions, or if you need to drop out because you just don't think that you're getting enough, just let me know. That's fine. Just make sure you understand, the goal of this meet really wasn't to try to get times. Okay, the goal of the meet was to be in a team atmosphere, okay, in a small format where you're just trying to score points for your team. For example, when I was in high school, I had to swim the 200 IM and 100 back. 100 back was my event, and I didn't like 200 IM, but I had to do it every single meet for my team because I was either the fastest or the second fastest, depending on the day, for my team. And then in college, I got recruited to swim the 100 and 200 backstroke. They didn't put me in the 100 and 200 backstroke for my freshman year. Actually, the first part of my freshman year, because I wasn't top 4 in the depth chart for the dual meet, so I had to swim the mile. And then, unfortunately for a swimmer from Texas, and fortunately for me, he got kicked off the team for breaking team rules, and that moved me up to the 4th spot in the backstroke, and then I was able to actually compete in my event. So no matter what you do, you swim as hard as you can, you compete for your team, and you try to score points. You cheer for everybody else, and that's kind of what this was about. It's really not about individual things and what's in it for me. It's a team event, team environment, and that's what it's about. So if your goals are not in sync with the goals of what we're trying to accomplish with this meet, that's okay. Just let me know. I can take you guys out of the meet. I'd rather have you in the meet, but I get it. It's just especially with JOs coming up and Far Westerns, people may not want to shell out the money if they're not getting what they want for their family. So unfortunately, like, the two paths of what we're doing don't always meet, but I'll try to keep giving everybody opportunities to do things. So yeah, if you have more questions, fire away. Thanks. Bye.